How's it going, everyone? We're back with another weekly watch list. I am feeling cooked by allergies, so might affect this video a little bit, so I'll try to run through it as efficiently as possible. But thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome back to another video. Will have another video out for you guys this week. Another video, a bit more health related, but carries over into just discipline in life in general. So stay tuned for that. But this will just be about the watch list. So let's go ahead right into that. All right. So we got NQ started off here. Very tight range for Friday. Previous day high, previous day low will be the first areas I'm watching. Break over this previous day high at 25,393 and this high at 25,418.90. I'll be watching calls to my next resistance zone at 25,663.46. Break below the previous day low, which is a really nice level, really nice pivot. My next support is going to be down at 25,000, which is also the daily 200 SMA. And then we have a previous day low at 24,960.55 and 24,925.60. All right. Now, we do have some not great world news going on with the peace talks. So I am expecting futures to open up red this evening. So we'll see what happens. But so my next zones below 25,000 is going to be this former high here. This is when we had that other news situation 2 weeks ago. So this zone here at 24,691 to 24,761. So a pretty decent zone there, about 50 points, 60 points. That'll be the first area I'll watch for a bounce. Below that is these former highs here at 24,454. Man, it's such a mouthful just reading NQ levels. Below that, we have a previous day high before that big gap up down at 24,381. So maybe we come down and fill this gap, which again, you'll see clearly on SPY and QQQ, there's a very clear daily gap. So maybe we fill that before moving back up. All right, and then below that's 24,000 and these lows down here at 23,935.79. All right, so let's head over to QQQ. Oops, wrong thing. So we can see that daily gap real quick. So right here, very clear, very obvious, down here at 588.98. So we'll see where the futures open up, but maybe we come here and fill this gap before moving back higher. So if I take it back to the 1 hour here, very similar levels. Again, previous day range, super tight. I mean, wow, that is... I mean, what did I trade on Friday? I traded MNQ longs and also Amazon long as well. But nonetheless, previous day high, previous day low, right? Next versus support zones down at the 602 area. And then we also have the daily 50 here as well. So if I should pull up my chart with the SMAs, you can see that here. Let's go back to QQQ. That daily 50 is right here. So I have just like a little level here. I may remove that on Monday, but I just have it there for now. We have the daily 200 down to 595. So I'll be watching that area as well. And of course, that gap fill at 588. So let's go back to the blank grid here. Let's go back to QQQ. It's the same thing as NQ, so I'm not going to spend much more time on it, right? Gap fill. Let's see if we get that gap fill. All right. Let's go over to ES. Pretty similar. Previous day high, previous day low. Over the previous day high. My next level, of course, 6,900 right there, but 6,951. Underneath the previous day low, my next support is down at 6,800 to 6,801.74. And that next daily low is 67.79.46. This is a trade where, like, you know, I would not be short. Like, if we break underneath this low here at 6,800, sure. There's absolutely room. Maybe I would not take this on options, but maybe on a futures trade where you catch these 20 points here. But you'd have to be perfect, right? And trading is not about being perfect. And then with the daily 200 there as well, you'd be shorting into. So I'd much rather see price get underneath 67.79 in the daily 200 and look to take it back to that 1 hour high that we have here, just like we had on NQ, all right, at 67.48. And below that, we have the gap fill, right, which is down here, and we'll see that on SPY. So like that's going to be the game plan for downsides. Get under those initial lows here at 60 on SPY is a previous day low, and then 673.77. We also have these lows here, which I'll zoom out a little bit and show you what they are on the chart as well. To get under at 669.72, which is also, let me see, it was this previous day low here at 671.46. Get underneath that. Then we have, again, that 4 hour low, which if I'll zoom out and show you, it's been a really key level. So, like, I just don't want to be short into this. Big low, big low, big low, big low, highs, highs. So personally for me, like if we're under previous day low, I'll watch the short here if we don't just gap down below it tonight. But really, I like underneath 669.72 down to this 1 hour high. And again, that's just one small high. It's really for the gap fill. And we have the daily 200 SMA down here on SPY as well. So gap fill play for me is best underneath 669.72, aka 670, and these 4 hour lows. All right, let's go over to Apple. Get out of here. I like that look for Apple though. If we just go to the daily time frame real quick, that's pretty nice. Maybe we get another reject up here. Maybe we break. We'll see. But yeah, something's cooking up here on Apple. Looks like a nice little flag situation. Looks very similar to this where we broke out. So looks like that next leg up could be maybe the next year or so. Maybe we get at a leap there. I'll take a look at that. I did sell NBIS Leap for 81%. That was fantastic. I sold one of my 2 Amazon Leaps for 77%. That was also great. So really happy about that. Still have a HIMS Leap. It's down bad. It's about like 60% red, but that's just zero hero for that. If I'm being honest with you, it's pretty cheap. And it has all the way till January of next year. So we'll see what happens. If it gets like August, September, and HIMS isn't back over like $25, $30, $35, ideally $40 a share, then I'll probably cut it. All right, so or roll it out to a longer expiration. So anyways, Apple, previous day high, previous day low. All right, underneath the previous day low, I'll be watching puts down to 256.07. However, see, as you can see here, we had this pre-market low here on Monday. If I'm going to take a short position, I'd much rather see us get below this 258.44 as well. So just keep that in mind. This 257, 256 area has been a really nice pivot. So underneath that, I definitely like short side down to 250 and upside over this 267. I'm sorry, 262, 267, lol. But yeah, over this 262, former daily highs as well. Looks really nice for a move up to that next level at 266. Let's go over to NVIDIA. I'm not going to show Tesla. NVIDIA and AMD, SMH been really strong. So as far as levels go, previous day high, previous day low, 190, previous day high, right on the money. I'm definitely watching longs over that. Next resistance is going to be up at 194.29. So that's going to be these highs here, these previous day highs here. So let's go ahead and drag this over. And then above 194.29, my next is up at 197.64. So let's go ahead and bring this over. As far as downside goes, not my favorite, of course, with how strong semiconductors have been, but break below this previous day low, all right, which is really here at 184.30, but 184.08 is a little better, so I'm going to keep it there. Break below this previous day low here, my next support's going to be down to 180.61, 180.27, and then below that, the daily gap fill at 178.23. So also have a daily gap on NVIDIA, so maybe we come fill that gap this week as well. It's going to be on AMD too. If we go to AMD is one big gapped up mess, right? We have a gap here, all the way down here at 222. This has just been a straight moonshot. So AMD has been very strong. Let's go to the lower time frames. I do need to edit this. That's not right. Like here's what I'm looking at, right? I have this previous day high here. I'm probably just let me just get rid of this. There we go. So we have this 249.59 previous day high, right? And so it's a pretty big zone, all the way up to 253.17. So yes, theoretically, could you look at longs over the previous day high up to 253? Absolutely. But I don't want to be short in this, right? Up to this high. I wouldn't want to be long here to here. It could fail anywhere short of it. So for me, I'd rather look at downside underneath daily gap. I think this is an older gap. I'll take a look at that in a second. At 237.10, which is underneath the previous day low. So look here, we have the previous day low here, just a straight run up and then nothing all day. Break underneath the previous day low. I'm not looking at shorts until we get underneath 237.10. This was a very strong level. It was a previous gap as well. Let's see. I don't even know where it was from. I clearly had it there for a reason. Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry. It is just we have a very small gap. So to be honest, I like this as a long play. And MD's been really strong. We break below the previous day low, but we have this gap fill right away at 237.10. I'd look for longs here. But if we break below 237.10, my next support is down at 230.92. And then really the next gap down at 222.16 with this level here at 227, which is the previous all-time high. So anyways, I'll be looking at that on AMD, right? If we get under here, this looks like a good potential good long. If we fail that, yeah, we have a daily low here, 230, but doesn't look very strong to me. It really would be this 227.14, but ideally this gap fill 226.16. So we'll see what happens. Definitely AMD in an interesting spot for sure. I'll definitely be watching that for options this week. As far as Google goes, previous day high, previous day low, 322, very strong. So I'll definitely be watching calls over 322. As far as puts go, underneath previous day low. I will be watching puts as always down to this next daily low at 310.98. We just do have this 4-hour high that got a little bit of respect on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week. Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm just keeping it on the chart for now, something to watch out for. And then below that, what do we have? Another daily gap. So again, everything gapped up last week. Do we get the gap? Is this going to be the gap fill week? 305.63. That'll be a good long spot, potentially a swing there as well with all of these, honestly. And then Amazon. I mean, talk about a ripper. I mean, holy shit. When we had this knee-jerk reaction on earnings, that's when I bought my leaps. And yeah, I sat through this chop, didn't sell them at this first daily gap, which was and up here at this 220, because I really wanted the next gap. I wanted the 231 gap, and we got it. So after here, I was up 50% here. Came all the way down. I think we were down like 35, 40% here. Stop loss was obviously going to be under this. I think it was this, 193. This was always my original stop, this weekly gap. So we never hit it, but patience paid, and it was an awesome play. So sold one at the gap fill. Of course, Amazon ripped a little bit higher than that, obviously. I sold one of the two leaps here at 231.80. So it was like right around here. Anyway, so as far as Amazon goes, very strong. Previous day high, previous day low. Underneath previous day low, I have that former daily gap. I just wanted to keep it on the chart because it stayed strong. Look, we have these daily lows right here. And yeah, we busted through it here, but on the lower time frames, kind of held a little bit. So I'm not really liking shorts underneath this previous day low unless we break below this 230.65. Get below that, then there's a clear shot down to 226.88, 226. That I like a lot better. And then below that, we have, let's see, do we have daily gap? I'm sure we do. Let me see real quick. Wow, look at that weekly. That is unbelievable. Daily gap's all the way down here. So we do have this daily gap here. Actually, let me double check. Let me actually fill that in real quick. Gap fill. So maybe this is a good intraday long this week. Come on, man. What are you doing? Get off my screen. What the? All right, there we go. So, that could be a good play here. Oh, didn't put it on. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. So this could be a play here for a long, potentially. It's just a very small gap, But nonetheless, we have a big gap down here at 213.97. So does Amazon want to come all the way back down there? If it does, I definitely would consider adding another leap for sure. Amazon I love. I use it every day. So don't mind that at all. But yeah, we had that gap fill right here. Let's see if that holds. Below that, I do have this. This is where it's like I could look at a short position here, 233.81, and take it down to this area. I just prefer it to be here under this 230.65. So yeah, and then of course we have that next gap fill all the way down at 213.97. And then I'm going to get rid of this daily gap wick. This was a previous gap fill to the upside. Don't need that anymore. All right. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's go ahead and just see how the futures open up with the news tonight. It's always fun and exciting to watch that. Wishing you all a great week inside and outside of the market. God bless, and I will see you all in the next watch list. If you did enjoy the video, please consider dropping a like, comment, sharing, subscribing to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. And I'll see you all in the next watch list. Peace.